From the very moment that notification hit Instagram, everything changed. One single post, one single caption, one single move from 50 Cent, the master of petty warfare, the king of trolling, the architect of career-ending shade, and suddenly the entire hip-hop world froze in shock. Because this wasn't a joke. This wasn't playful trolling. This wasn't 50 doing his usual, haha, let me clown somebody today. No, this time was different. This time, 50 Cent wasn't laughing. This time, and he wasn't posting memes. This time, he wasn't throwing jabs. This time, he was aiming to end a legacy. And the target? T.I., a man who once called himself the King of the South, a hip-hop icon in his own right, but who has recently been drowning in controversy after controversy, especially with his son, King Harris, spiraling out of control and dragging the entire Harris family name through the mud. But nothing, absolutely nothing, could have prepared the world for what 50 Cent posted after King crossed a line so deep, so disrespectful, so unforgivable, that even T.I. couldn't defend it. The internet exploded. Fans screamed, rappers reacted. Bloggers scrambled to screenshot the post before it vanished. Because in that moment, 50 Cent didn't just expose something, he weaponized the truth. He dropped a bomb that detonated the entire foundation of T.Y.'s career, reputation, and standing in hip-hop. And the craziest part? It wasn't a long essay, it wasn't a video, it wasn't interviews or rants. It was one post, one image, one caption, one message that instantly went viral and triggered a tidal wave of chaos. Some fans are calling it the most disrespectful attack 50 has ever launched. Others are saying T.I. brought this on himself, but everyone agrees on one thing. This Instagram post may have officially ended T.I.'s career. And what made 50 Cent do it? What did King Harris say that pushed him over the edge? What secret did 50 reveal that sent T.I. into panic mode? Oh, you're not ready. Because the deeper you go into this story, the darker it gets. And the twist behind 50's post? It's worse than anyone expected. Buckle up. From the outside, it looked like just another celebrity clash. Another moment of hip-hop chaos stirred up by the one and only 50 Cent. But the people who truly understand the history between 50 and T.I. knew instantly this wasn't random. This wasn't trolling for fun. This wasn't entertainment. This was years of tension, rumors, ego battles, silent shade, and unspoken resentment reaching a violent breaking point. Because behind the scenes, 50 Cent and T.I. have never really been friends. They've coexisted, they've nodded respectfully at events, they've occasionally posed for pictures that fooled the internet into believing everything was cool. But insiders have whispered for years that these two titans secretly despised each other. And the root of that tension begins way before King Harris inserted himself into the picture. To understand how 50 ended T.I.'s career with one post, you have to peel back every layer of this rivalry. The origins of the beef. A clash of kings, egos, and Power 50 Cent has always been the street general. Aggressive, strategic, brutally honest, and feared by the entire industry. He built his empire off chaos, confidence, and a bulletproof reputation. T.I., on the other hand, crowned himself King of the South, a title that rubbed many rappers the wrong way, especially someone as competitive and ego-driven as 50 Cent. There were rumors, years back, of tension between their camps. Rumors that 50 didn't like T.Y.'s holier-than-thou tone. In rumors that T.I. felt 50 was too messy, too reckless, too eager to start fights. Rumors that they avoided each other backstage at award shows because the energy was never right. But the first real crack came when T.I.'s legal troubles became public. 50 Cent is a businessman. He's a strategist, he's a chess player. And he has always believed that snitching, in any form, destroys a man's credibility. So when T.I. miraculously received a shockingly lenient sentence after being caught with weapons that would have put most people behind bars for decades, 50 Cent raised an eyebrow. He didn't accuse him publicly. He didn't make a diss track. He didn't start a feud. But he noticed, he observed, He filed it away, and he waited. Because 50 understood something crucial. You don't destroy a man with accusations. You destroy him with timing. Meanwhile, T.I. tried to reinvent himself as a moral leader, lecturing young rappers, guiding the culture, correcting everyone else's behavior. He transformed into a father figure for the hip-hop community. But behind every lecture, every podcast speech, every attempt at being the wise elder, people were whispering, why didn't he get the same sentence everyone else gets? And 50? He stayed quiet. He didn't expose anything. He simply watched and waited until King Harris entered the picture and detonated everything. King Harris, the son who cracked the foundation. King Harris has always been unpredictable, loud, reckless, quick-tempered, struggling to escape his father's shadow while simultaneously using it whenever convenient. For years, T.I. defended him. Every scandal? Just a kid. Every meltdown? He's learning. Every disrespect? He'll grow out of it. But King didn't grow out of it. He grew into it. And the more he spiraled, the more pressure fell on T.'s already fragile reputation. But nothing compares to what King did recently. The words he said, the line he crossed, the disrespect he unleashed. A line so deeply offensive, so shockingly personal, so unforgivable, that even fans who previously laughed at his antics said, "Nah, this is too far." And when 50 Cent heard what King said, he didn't laugh, he didn't troll, he didn't ignore it, he snapped. Because King didn't just disrespect his own family, he disrespected 50's family. His legacy, his pain, his trauma. People forget. 50 Cent lost his mother at a young age under horrific circumstances. It shaped him, it hardened him, it carved his identity. So when King brought 50's mother into his mouth, mocking her death, weaponizing her memory as a punchline, 50 Cent didn't see a kid acting out. He saw a direct attack, a violation, a spit in the face of everything he survived. And in that moment, 50 Cent finally decided, T.I. needs to pay. And his entire career is going to crumble because of the son he refused to discipline. The industry reaction. Everyone knew 50 was waiting for a trigger. People inside the industry weren't shocked that 50 responded. They were shocked that he went this far. Because once 50 Cent feels disrespected on a personal, emotional, or family level, it's over. 50 doesn't do light retaliation. He doesn't send subliminals. He doesn't do half-hearted shade. He destroys. And T.I., who has been trying desperately to revive his career, trying to regain relevance, trying to reinvent his public image, was the perfect target. He was vulnerable. His public credibility was shaky. Fans were questioning him. Critics were resurfacing old allegations. His recent projects were underperforming. It was the perfect storm. All 50 needed was one reason, one opening, one moment of disrespect, and King Harris delivered it. Back channel. Whispers behind the scenes, and executives were terrified. Multiple insiders revealed that powerful people in the industry begged 50 not to escalate the situation. One executive reportedly said, "If 50 posts anything, T.I.'s brand is done." Another insider claimed, T.I. doesn't have the fan base or influence to survive a 50 Cent attack. Even rappers behind the scenes whispered, 50 is about to embarrass him. But no one expected the level of destruction 50 unleashed. Because the Instagram post wasn't random. It wasn't emotional. It wasn't impulsive. It was prepared, strategic, calculated. 50 had been sitting on a nuclear bomb for years, and King Harris's mouth finally gave him an excuse to detonate it. The moment King Harris opened his mouth and crossed that line, that sacred line, that personal line, that deeply human line, hip-hop felt the ground shift. It wasn't a diss, it wasn't trolling, it wasn't a typical celebrity kid meltdown. It was venom. Real, targeted venom, and the kind that hits the soul. And for the first time, even King's own supporters stepped back and said, "Oh no, he messed with the wrong man." Because when King mocked 50 Cent's mother, mocked her death, mocked the trauma that shaped 50's entire existence, mocked a wound so deep it still bleeds, he didn't just disrespect 50 Cent, he awakened a monster, and the world was about to learn the one rule everybody in the industry knows. You never bring up 50's mother. Ever. Not in jokes. Not in fights, not in interviews, not in lyrics. There are many stories in the industry of rappers who came close to mentioning it, and 50 shut it down immediately. But King Harris? He said it proudly, mockingly, with a smirk like he believed T.I.'s legacy was enough to protect him. But nothing, absolutely nothing, protects you when you attack the core of 50 Cent's trauma. And when 50 saw the clip, insiders say his expression didn't move, not a twitch, not a frown, not a blink. He just stared at the screen, silent, still, breathing slow. That's how you know 50's really angry. He doesn't yell, he doesn't rant, he becomes quiet. And quiet 50 is dangerous, because quiet 50 means calculations have begun. The war room moment. 50's inner circle panics. People close to him, producers, managers, executives, saw the clip as well and immediately started texting each other. One insider wrote, "Somebody stop him before he posts, please." Another said, "If he claps back, it won't be light, it'll be career-ending." Someone from his TV production team even chimed in, "We cannot afford bad press right now. Please tell him to chill." But you can't stop a hurricane, and definitely not when it's powered by years of buried pain. King had no idea what he just started, while 50 was planning his response. "I was scrambling behind the scenes, calling PR teams, dialing lawyers, messaging King, pacing around rooms, arguing with advisors." Well, he knew the second he heard the clip. Oh my God, he didn't just bring up that. But King didn't care. King thought he won. King thought he checked 50. King thought the internet would cheer for him. Instead, the internet roasted him. Fans began dragging him left and right. Why are you attacking a man's dead mother? What does this even prove? You sound lost, angry, and directionless. I needs to get his son before 50 does. But King wasn't done. He doubled down. In another live stream, he puffed up his chest, yelled into the camera, and said, "Ain't nobody scared of 50. My daddy run the South." Dead silence. Because everyone knew the truth. 50 Cent doesn't run the South. He runs the internet. He runs the meme culture. He runs the petty Olympics. He runs the psychological battlefield. The South is regional. 50 Cent is global. And that's why what happened next changed everything. On 50 Cent's post, the nuclear bomb. The world didn't know what he would post. Would it be a meme, a joke, a diss track preview, a cryptic caption? Nobody knew. Until suddenly, at 2:47 p.m., Instagram exploded. 50 posted one picture, one caption, one message, and the entire world stopped breathing. The image? A sealed PDF document showing T.I.'s old plea deal, highlighted and circled in red. The caption? "Since your son wanna talk reckless, let's tell the whole story. I don't forget why you really got that light sentence. The internet died. Comments froze, screenshots flew, Twitter imploded, bloggers screamed. Celebrities sent emergency group chat messages. No one expected 50 to go this far. In one single post, 50 didn't just clap back. He didn't just retaliate. He didn't just check King. He exposed the one rumor that has been haunting T.Y. for years. The rumor that he cooperated with authorities. And here's the twist. 50 never confirmed anything. He never accused. He never stated facts. He simply posted a document with a caption that implied something very dark. And that's how 50 plays the game. He doesn't need to prove anything. He doesn't need to expose the full story. He simply shines a light and lets the internet burn everything down. The aftermath. T. I panics, King goes silent. The second 50s post went live. T. I stopped all calls. His publicist went into crisis mode. His legal team met in an emergency Zoom call. His wife tried calming King, who suddenly realized he awakened a demon. Sponsors quietly put contracts on pause. A major podcast episode featuring T.I. was mysteriously removed from the schedule. Industry insiders said, "This is the post T.I. always feared." Because for years he has been trying to outrun this rumor. For years, he tried cleaning his image. For years, he pretended the whispers didn't bother him. But with one post, 50 brought the rumor back to life. Louder, bigger, and with more force than ever before. And guess what? 50 didn't delete it. He didn't clarify it. He didn't apologize. He doubled down. He commented under his own post. Tell your son watch his mouth before grown men start telling the truth. The comment section went insane. And that was the moment people realized this isn't beef. This isn't trolling. This is 50 Cent ending T.I.'s career one piece at a time. Then first twist, a second post was ready. Hours later, while fans were still dissecting the first bomb, insiders revealed something terrifying. 50 had another post saved in drafts. A worse one, a deeper one. A post that could erase any remaining respect to tar I had left. Executives begged him not to post it. One insider said, if he drops the second one, T.I.'s legacy is gone forever. Another said, he's holding something nuclear. And 50? And he smirked in a live interview that night and said, I ain't done yet. That boy opened a door his daddy didn't want opened. The world froze. Because if this was just the beginning, if this was only the first twist, then the next reveal, the next escalation, the next move would be catastrophic. And Section 4? That's where the real destruction begins. Because 50 didn't just expose T.I. He exposed the entire family. And the industry is still panicking. The moment the internet caught its breath after 50 Cent's nuclear Instagram post, the industry realized something terrifying. This wasn't the peak. This was the warm-up. 50 had cracked open a door that T.I. spent years trying to weld shut. And once that door opened, the truth started leaking out faster than anyone, especially T.I., could contain. What nobody knew was that 50's post had triggered a chain reaction behind the scenes. Within hours of that document hitting the internet, gold conversations, screenshots, receipts, phone calls, and private industry whispers started crawling out of the shadows. Stuff people had buried. Stuff people promised to never mention again. Stuff that connected dots. T.I. thought no one would ever revisit. And while social media was on fire, T.I. was reportedly pacing through his Atlanta mansion like a man awaiting execution. One insider said he kept repeating the same sentence. He don't even know the whole story. He don't know the full story. But here's the part nobody expected. 50 Cent did know the whole story. He'd been sitting on it for years, like a grenade he knew would eventually come in handy. And King Harris, without knowing, without thinking, without understanding, pulled the pin out himself. While chaos exploded online, King suddenly went silent. Yeah, the same boy who was yelling on Instagram Live just hours earlier had disappeared. No more lives, no more tough talk, no more chest puffing. Insiders say he was in the house crying, shaking, overwhelmed because, for the first time, he saw what real consequences looked like when you disrespect the wrong man. Meanwhile, T.Y.'s phone was reportedly blowing up nonstop. Rappers calling, producers calling, executives calling, publicists calling, and every single conversation was the same. Bro, I fix this, fix it now, before he posts again. But 50 Cent was already 10 steps ahead. Around 9:40 p.m. that night, 50 posted a cryptic story. Black background, white letters. You ain't scared yet? Don't worry, I'm warming up. The internet screamed. People ran back to check T.I.'s page. No response, no apology, no explanation. Just silence. And that silence told the world everything. I wasn't quiet because he didn't care. He was quiet because he was terrified. Because the one thing everyone in hip-hop knows is this. 50 Cent doesn't bluff. He doesn't hint. He doesn't tease. When he says he has more, he has more. Insiders claimed the second post he had saved wasn't about legal situations. It wasn't about paperwork. It wasn't about rumors. It was personal. It involved someone I never wanted dragged into a feud. Someone who had nothing to do with rap beef. Someone whose name, if exposed, would send shockwaves through both the Harris family and the entire entertainment industry. Because the second post wasn't about T.I. at all. It was about T.I.'s family. And before 50 could drop it, something even bigger hit the internet. A leaked audio recording, anonymous, untraceable, of T.I. in a private conversation years ago. The audio was muffled, but the key sentence was clear as day. I did what I had to do. They gave me a choice. The internet stopped, as people replayed it hundreds of times. Blogs uploaded it instantly. Twitter/X went insane. What choice? Who gave the choice? What did he have to do? Was this connected to the plea deal? Was this what 50 had alluded to? And then fans connected another detail. The voice in the audio wasn't angry. It wasn't sad. It was defeated. That alone shocked people. Because T.I. has always portrayed himself as unbreakable, unbothered, untouchable. But this sounded like a man who had carried a secret for so long. It was eating him alive. Within minutes, commentators began analyzing the timeline, comparing the leaked audio to events from T.Y.'s legal history. Some said it aligned too perfectly. Some said it proved he'd been protecting himself at all costs. Some said it explained why he became so overly moralistic in recent years, because guilt was riding him. But what really sent the world over the edge was what happened next. A screen recording emerged showing 50 Cent in a private live stream laughing. Not loudly, not mockingly, but the kind of low, satisfied laugh that tells you a man has won a battle before even firing the next shot. He looked at the camera, leaned forward, and said, "See? Y'all don't even know half of it. This just beginning." Those 7 words caused panic across the industry. Phones rang. NDAs were updated. APR teams drafted emergency statements. Lawyers prepped for the worst. Meanwhile, T.I. was scrambling behind the scenes, desperate to track the source of the leaked audio. Insiders said he was furious, shouting, "How the hell did that get out? How? Who got that? Was it him? Was it him?" But the truth was obvious. 50 didn't leak the audio. He didn't need to. The universe was tearing T.I. apart for him. While all of this unfolded, King Harris tried to hop back on Instagram in a moment of fake bravado, saying, "I'm good. Ain't nobody worried about 50. But fans immediately flooded the comments. "Bro, please stop. You made this worse. You're not built for this. Sit down. You're about to get your whole family erased from hip-hop. You woke up a demon. Go inside and apologize before he drops part 2. And then the shocking twist dropped, and a former associate of T.I., someone very close to him years ago, posted a mysterious message on Twitter. If 50 posts the next one, T.I. won't recover. It ain't even about paperwork. It's about betrayal." Betrayal? That single word shifted the narrative instantly. What betrayal? Who betrayed who? Did T.I. betray someone? Did someone betray him? Was this connected to King's disrespect? Was this why 50 hates him so much? The associate deleted the tweet instantly. But it didn't matter. Screenshots were everywhere. Then another commentator added fuel. 50 kept something for years because he knew one day it'd matter. So now the question became, what did 50 keep? What does he know? What could he possibly drop that's worse than implying Ty cooperated with authorities? And that's when a whisper began circulating. A whisper so dark, so explosive, so personal, that even mentioning it made bloggers nervous. Oh, no, because rumor has it, 50 Cent's second post was going to expose a secret about T.Y.'s relationship with someone inside his own circle. A secret involving loyalty, betrayal, and a deal that allegedly saved one person while sacrificing another. A secret that, if revealed, would destroy T.I.'s public image permanently. And 50 had the receipts. But here's the craziest part. He didn't post it. Not yet. Instead, he posted a single laughing emoji on his story with the caption, "I'll let him sweat first." I was already sweating. King was panicking. The industry was terrified. Fans were glued to their screens. Because they all knew, if 50 Cent decides to push the button, if he decides to drop the next picture, if he decides to reveal the betrayal, T.I.'s career, his legacy, his reputation, his entire image will be gone. And that's not even the final twist. Because someone else stepped into the drama next. Someone nobody expected. Someone with power to end careers. Someone who might push this feud into a place it can never return from. The internet was already in flames, but nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared the world for what happened when the public and the industry finally absorbed the gravity of 50 Cent's bombshell. What began as a father-son drama instantly mutated into a global spectacle. It's the kind that drags everybody into the battlefield, whether they want to be involved or not. Fans weren't just reacting, they were mobilizing. Within minutes of 50's post, hashtags exploded across every platform. Hashtag TI career over hashtag 50. Ain't playing hashtag King started. This hashtag exposed the Harris truth, hashtag 50. Said what he said. And the comments weren't lighthearted. People were angry. People felt lied to. People felt manipulated after years of watching T.I. parade himself as a moral leader in hip-hop while hiding skeletons the size of Atlanta itself. Thousands of fans who once idolized him started posting old interview clips, dissecting inconsistencies, pointing out contradictions, resurfacing controversies. I desperately wanted forgotten. It was as if the internet suddenly woke up and collectively said, "Wait, we've been giving this man too much credit." Meanwhile, King Harris was getting roasted beyond comprehension. Nobody showed mercy. Nobody accepted the "he's just a kid" excuse anymore. Not after he sparked a war with a man known for ending entire music eras. Comments piled onto every platform. King walked his whole family into a disaster. He poked a lion, then went hiding. He has no idea who he messed with. Play stupid games, win legendary consequences. But the wildest part? The public wasn't even the most brutal. Celebrities, people I thought he could count on, started reacting too. And some posted vague messages like, "Should have kept the boy quiet." Wrong move, wrong man. You don't play with 50, ever. Others were more direct. A well-known ATL rapper tweeted, "I love Tip, but this ain't looking good." Another industry figure wrote, 50 got files on everybody, and if he posted one, he got 10. Nobody was willing to defend T.I., not publicly, not even subtly. Because in the world of hip-hop politics, choosing sides against 50 Cent is social and career suicide. But then it got worse. Because D.L. Hewley jumped in. Yes, D.L. Hewley, who is always the first to comment on celebrity mess, posted, "I told y'all some of these dudes ain't who they pretend to be." No name mentioned, but the timing said everything. Other comedians chimed in. He better check that boy King before he gets his whole legacy deleted. Even a former co-star from T.Y.'s TV projects dropped a hint. Funny how karma always comes for the loudest ones. But the real shock came when a major entertainment journalist publicly stated, 50 didn't even post the worst receipt. People in the industry are terrified. That tweet alone sent fans into conspiracy mode. What else did 50 have? What was he saving? What was so damaging that even enemies of T.I. didn't want it out? But nothing compared to what happened next. A rumor began spreading inside private Hollywood group chats. Rumors that 50's next post wasn't about legal trouble, wasn't about paperwork, wasn't even about betrayal. It was about a woman. A woman connected to T.I. A woman whose name, if spoken publicly, would send shockwaves through every music label, every PR team, every gossip blog, and every celebrity marriage in Hollywood. Now, screenshots leaked of a private message allegedly showing someone close to 50 telling a friend, "If he drops the picture with her, it's over. I knows exactly who I'm talking about." Fans started speculating immediately. Old photos resurfaced, clips reappeared, connections were drawn. T.I.'s team panicked so badly that they began issuing quiet takedown requests to bloggers who even hinted at the woman's identity. Meanwhile, King Harris officially stopped posting, stopped tweeting, and stopped going live. For the first time in his life, he was silent. And that silence was the proof everyone needed. He finally realized he had triggered something his father couldn't control. On top of that, T.I.'s sponsors and partners began backing away quietly. One company moved his promotional campaign indefinitely. Another paused his TV project. An event canceled his scheduled appearance, citing unforeseen challenges. Not because they believed the rumors, not because they supported 50, but because they didn't want to be standing next to T.I. when the next bomb dropped. Behind closed doors, executives murmured, 50 Cent is too powerful online. We can't risk being collateral damage. But the most chilling reaction came from one of hip-hop's biggest moguls, someone who rarely comments publicly on drama but has heavy influence in the industry. He posted one sentence. "That boy King done cost his daddy everything." The comment went viral instantly. And then something even crazier happened. A former federal investigator chimed in on Twitter. "I'm shocked anyone posted that document. If there's more, this could get ugly." Ugly. That word became the center of the conversation. What did he mean by ugly? Legal consequences? Federal implications? New investigations? Old cases reopened? People began speculating wildly. Some fans said 50 had evidence T.I. never wanted public. Some said it involved a friend T.I. betrayed. Yet others said it connected to a case people thought was buried forever. But the craziest theory, the one that spread like wildfire, was that T.I. didn't just cooperate in his old case. He cooperated for years after. A theory that, if proven true, would end his career overnight. But nobody knew if it was real, except 50 Cent. And he wasn't denying it. He wasn't correcting it. He wasn't clarifying anything. He was letting the world drown in speculation, watching T.I.'s legacy crumble one rumor at a time. As the public and industry reactions intensified, one thing became painfully clear. This wasn't about a post anymore. This wasn't about King Harris. This wasn't about trolling. This was a takedown. A systematic dismantling of T.I.'s credibility, a public execution of his reputation, and the final twist, the moment that will push this feud into irreversible destruction, is coming in the next section. And a twist that involves 50's second post, a secret from T.I.'s past, and a revelation that could end not just T.I.'s career, but his entire public image forever. What 50 has saved is worse than paperwork, worse than audio, worse than rumors. And in the next section, the truth behind that nuclear final twist will shatter everything. The world thought 50 Cent had already fired the deadliest shot. They thought the plea deal post was the bombshell. They thought the leaked audio was the nightmare. They thought T.I.'s silence was the breaking point. But what nobody knew, what nobody was prepared for, was that everything up until this moment, every drag, every rumor, every piece of shade, was nothing compared to the final card 50 Cent has been holding. Because while fans were obsessing over T.I.'s past, over legal papers, over old audio clips, 50 had something else. Something modern, something recent, something T.I. never expected anyone to find. A secret that had nothing to do with police, nothing to do with lyrics, nothing to do with the industry. It had to do with loyalty. The one thing T.I. claims to stand on. The one moral value he preached louder than anyone else. But behind closed doors, a different story was unfolding. Late one night, while the internet spiraled in chaos, screenshots began circulating in private celebrity forums. Your screenshots that showed an unknown number messaging a well-known insider with a single sentence. "He forgot I kept the messages." Nobody paid attention at first. Nobody questioned who he was. Nobody connected it to the chaos. Until the next message dropped. 50 has them now. Those 5 words ignited pure panic among people close to T.I.'s camp. Because this time, it wasn't paperwork. It wasn't audio. It wasn't rumors. It was direct evidence of a betrayal involving someone T.I. publicly loved, trusted, and defended for years. A betrayal that, if exposed, wouldn't just end his career. It would end his credibility as a man, as a father, and as a leader he has spent years pretending to be. And that's when the full truth leaked. Not publicly, but quietly. Through whispers. Through DMs. Through insiders who knew their careers might be destroyed if this ever reached mainstream media. Because the final twist wasn't about T.I. cooperating with authorities. And it wasn't about King. It wasn't even about 50's revenge. It was about a secret that T.I. covered up for years involving someone incredibly close to him. A secret so sensitive and so deeply damaging that 50 Cent has reportedly kept the receipts in a private vault, waiting for the perfect moment to use them. And King's disrespect. That moment arrived. The secret was this. T.I. I allegedly betrayed someone in his own circle. Someone he considered brother, in exchange for protection during the darkest moment of his legal troubles. Someone who took real consequences while T.I. walked free. Someone who lost everything, while T.I. built a brand on being the wise, reformed, innocent leader. The messages reportedly show conversations where T.I. admits regret, admits fear, admits he did what he had to do because it was him or me. That alone shook insiders. But then came the worst part. Another screenshot included a message from the betrayed person, dated years later, saying, "You promised you'd fix it, but you never did. You left me out here alone." And below it, T.I.'s response. "We don't speak on that ever. That's the deal." The internet would implode if this ever dropped. Because that means T.I.'s entire image, his entire rebrand, his entire wise OG persona, his entire father figure act, his entire moral preaching is built on a lie. And a lie protected not by loyalty, but by fear. Fear of people finding out who really took the heat for him. Fear of losing the respect he's been chasing his whole career. Fear of someone like 50 Cent getting access to the receipts. But here's the twist that sent chills across the industry. 50 didn't plan to drop the messages. Not yet. He wants T.I. to sweat. He wants him to fear the unknown. He wants him to live knowing that one screenshot, could erase everything. And so 50 posted something even scarier, a selfie. Smirking, holding a phone. With the caption, "Want to go another round? I'm just getting started." Millions of people understood instantly. 50 wasn't posting the secret, but he was confirming it exists. And that alone was enough to send T.I. into full-blown panic. One insider said T.I. kept checking his phone every minute, terrified 50 would post again. Another said he canceled all appearances for the week. Another claimed he reached out privately to resolve the situation. But 50 Cent doesn't resolve. He finishes. And the scariest part? He hasn't even used his deadliest weapon yet, because until now he has only posted things the public could understand. Documents, photos, stories. But the nuclear weapon, the betrayal messages, remains in his back pocket. He's keeping them, studying them, waiting for the perfect moment. Maybe for the next insult, maybe for the next comment, and maybe for the next time King opens his mouth. And until then, I cannot rest. He cannot breathe. He cannot sleep. He cannot think straight. He is living in a constant state of fear, knowing that any second, any minute, any hour, 50 could decide the world deserves to see the full truth. A truth that would turn T.I. from a flawed rapper into a villain, a traitor, a hypocrite, a man who rose to fame while someone else paid the price. Or how the cliffhanger is real. Will 50 drop the final receipts? Will T.I. attempt to fight back? Will King make things worse, or will the biggest secret of T.Y.'s life finally explode? If you're still here right now, if you made it through the documents, the leaked audio, the betrayal, the secret messages, and the nuclear receipts that 50 Cent is still sitting on, then you already understand what the rest of the world is just now waking up to. This isn't a rap beef. This isn't trolling. This isn't 50 being petty. No, this is a career-ending storm, and T.I. is standing in the middle of it with no umbrella, no backup, and no way out. All because his own son couldn't control his mouth. And now the only question that matters is, should 50 Cent drop the final receipts? Yes or no? Scroll down right now and tell me what you think. But don't stop there. I need y'all to weigh in on this too. Do you believe T.I. betrayed someone in his circle to save himself? Should King Harris apologize publicly? Will T.I. ever recover from this, or is his career officially done? Should 50 expose everything, or hold it for when T.I. slips again? Your comments aren't just conversation. They are part of the research, part of the investigation, part of uncovering a truth the industry has been hiding for years. Hit that like button if you think 50 Cent was justified. Slam that subscribe button if you want instant updates the moment the next bomb drops. And turn on notifications. Because trust me, this story is not over. 50 Cent hasn't posted the deadliest receipt. T.I. hasn't addressed a single rumor. King Harris is still silent, which means he's either scared or planning something even worse. And insiders say the next move could be the biggest explosion yet. You do not want to miss what happens next. Yet we're watching a legacy fall apart in real time. We're watching a father suffer because of his son. And we're watching 50 Cent push this feud to a place hip-hop has never seen before. So stick around, stay loud, stay curious. Because the next chapter? Oh, it's coming. And when it hits, the entire industry is going to shake.